Why is it that you've never felt accomplished after a doom scrolling session? Like, sometimes you even feel physically sick and ill and tired and just generally just disappointed, to be fair. And what's even more crazy is how you don't even remember the last two videos you watched. Like, the very last video you just watched has already escaped your mind. And then you begin to wonder, like, what exactly is the destination of this never ending stream of videos? And like, is it actually adding to me? And whatever doesn't add to you definitely subtracts from you. And what exactly it is subtracting from you has a name. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. This video isn't like any super scripted anything. I just came here to rant. So let's get into it. Every time you pick up your phone and scroll, your brain doesn't know what comes next. And I find that very interesting because it's somewhat like hard drugs, permit me to say. You begin to watch a certain video satisfies you in a certain way, say entertainment or interesting, funny, whatever, and you begin to scroll and continually chase that high, and you begin to get videos that, well, sometimes more interesting, sometimes less interesting, and you just continue scrolling with no end in mind and no destination, no finish line in mind, and then it becomes a never-ending session of just scrolling, trying to hit your highs again, and again and again and again and again. That's kind of how hard drugs works, if you get me. This very innovation is stealing from you two main things that I want to talk about in this video. And because motion graphics is expensive and difficult and stressful, I have a marker and a note. So the first thing that it is stealing from you is your empathy. And here's what I mean when I say your empathy. Because you don't know what comes next in a video, the video you're watching currently can be for example, tragic news. Something terrible happened somewhere in the world, in the news, whatever. Normally, a human response to that is to feel the emotion that correlates with the news that has been received, which you kind of do for a brief moment. And then you scroll and it's a funny video. And then immediately your emotions are now tangled and then you begin to laugh. A few seconds ago, you were hit with the news that was supposed to make you feel a feeling of, say, sad emotion or tragedy, for example. And then the next thing, you're laughing. And then the next video is about a skill or a sport you're interested in that you're trying to learn. And then immediately you're like in a learning mode or whatever. So eventually your emotion regulation is now being toyed with and you do not even know. And then your empathy, your emotional intelligence just begins to reduce. And that is why we have people with low emotional intelligence in this day and age. You can tie that to doom scrolling. This is not scientifically confirmed, but if you want to call me a conspiracy theorist, well, feel free. The second thing that doom scrolling, social media, FYP, vertical videos, whatever you want to call it, is stealing from you is your attention. Now, this one goes without saying. I don't really have anything much to say here, but for the fact that you can't remember the last two videos you watched, you don't even know the amount of videos you have watched. Sometimes when you eventually hit the back button and see where the scrolling started from, you become so dumbfounded, like, this is where I started from, and like, how did I get to where I am? And you're like so confused. Attention. And it's so bad that nowadays you put on a movie on the TV and you're just using your phone. So like, we cannot even settle our mind to watch entertainment for a long time. People are attention poor because of them scrolling. And I am very, very guilty of this as well. So, hey, anytime I say you, I'm talking of we, I'm talking of every single person that is watching this video right now. So, whatever. The issue I'm having right now is that everybody that comes online to give some advice about doom scrolling, whatever, says things like, oh, don't watch brain rot, whatever, watch useful content, watch educational content. And I have said that myself, and it's kind of true. It's a lot better than doom scrolling brain rot and crazy stuff that does not really add to you. However, you and I know how useless it is to quote and unquote learn things from, say, Instagram or whatever. You see an educational content, you watch it sometimes in 2 times speed. I am very guilty of that. And then you save the video. When last, let me hold my marker. When last did you watch a saved video? At this point, a saved video is just a graveyard of videos that you would have gone back to learn from or, have inspiration from. Like 90% of the time, you do not go back to watch that video. So at the end of the day, you are not really learning anything, even if you want to watch like educational content or like things that beneficial to you. So I do not really think the concept of changing your FYP based on like what you watch is really effective. But if content needs to be consumed at all, then let it be a pre-planned long form video that you will propose in your heart to finish. There must be a finish line, because the moment there is no finish line, satisfaction is not guaranteed. And the moment satisfaction is not guaranteed, you will keep chasing that high. So the moment there is a finish line, you say, okay, I'm going to watch a video about finance. I'm going to watch a video about cars. And I'm going to finish this 15 to 20 minutes video. There's a finish line. And by the end of that video, there is satisfaction. And then that fixes your attention span. Do you get? Yeah, do you get? However, I have thought to myself a better way of confronting this vice. I'm probably being a little dramatic, but hey, I think and I believe, and I'm suggesting to you, that one great way of combating this is just find side quests. Find other things you want to use your time to do. If you get home, say after school, after work, you get home in the evening, you have nothing to do, you usually just climb your bed, pick up your phone, doom scroll, find something else to replace it with. 3 very nice things you can replace it with. You'll thank me later. I promise you. I promise you. You thank me later. So let's get into that. Number 1 is sports. And you can probably tell from the pathetic balls I drew around this. I started playing tennis some years ago. And yes, that gives me something else to focus on. Something else to fuel my satisfaction. You know, something else to pull discipline out of me. Because the moment you give in to like lack of paying attention, lack of empathy, lack of concentration, discipline exits the group chat, like gets up, like leaves the entire conversation. But like having a sport that you want to get better at, keep, learning techniques, going at it again and again and again, repetitively, English, builds a discipline in you that doom scrolling is stealing from you. And I've been playing tennis for over a year now, and it gives me a level of satisfaction that doom scrolling doesn't give. In fact, the purpose of doom scrolling is no satisfaction. So you keep coming back, you keep scrolling. Get a sport. It mustn't be something hard or anything. Go outside, kick some. Go outside, kick a ball. I'm so sorry. Go outside, kick a ball, take a run or a jog. Just something that when you're done, you have a satisfaction from it. That is very useful. The second thing you should replace consuming with is creating. Create something. Sorry, I forgot my graphics. Create something. And yes, this is the only time you get to be a hypocrite. I know I'm preaching against doom scrolling, but just create a video and put it on the internet. Like, don't always consume. That what makes you sick of it. When you always consume, you always take in and you do not contribute. That is a problem. Take this analogy, for example. Probably a very weird analogy, but just imagine you were always eating. Only ever eating. There was no avenue for you to remove the waste out of your body or remove whatever you have eaten out of your body. You're gonna die. So creating just helps you stay sane. I don't know how to explain it, but then it's not just videos, right? You can write, start a blog, write your thoughts, journal, post it on the internet, or just share it in your family group chat or wherever. Just make sure that your brain is always coming up with new ideas. And which leads me to my next point. Perfect segue. Imagination, guys. Imagination. Use your imagination. You know that thing Barney always told us? Use your imagination. And this is going to probably need a little bit of more explanation. Sit down, just you, your pen, your notes, and just imagine your future. Imagine you owned the largest company in your continent or in the world. Imagine you had the dream family you always wanted to. Just imagine it and write it down. Like, write it down like you're planning for the future, because you basically are, but like in an imaginative way. Write down the most impossible things that you want to happen. Dream big. Just expand your mind. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Sit down and just draft out a fake company. Embrace your boredom. Embrace boredom. Embrace boredom. Embrace boredom. How many times did I say that? Look, I have noticed, and every single person watching this video can bear me witness, creativity comes when, number 1, you're bored. Number 2, you are poor. And I mean that from experience. When you have no money, you begin to have the best business ideas the world has ever seen. When you're bored, that is when creativity begins to form. When your brain is not distracted or busy, creativity entertains your brain. So when you keep feeding your brain processed entertainment, then you just end up with brain rot. But then when your brain forms its own entertainment, like, do you get? Do you get? Wisdom, wisdom. Anyways, those are my 2 cents, and I hope you found at least one point useful. Tell me which points in the comments you are going to implement immediately after you drop this video. And if you watch this video to the end, it means you're already implementing the point. So kudos to you. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, subscribe, like, share, and comment to me the best part of the video you liked, the best tip you are going to practice. Right? And watching this video to the end is like one of the best gifts you can ever give to me outside money. So thank you guys so much for supporting this channel. See you on the next one.